What is going on? What is going on? This your boy Raven Black back for a reaction video. We're checking out the some news on the ratings training cap that we've been seeing. Um, some updates on different social media apps, and I figured we'll just go take a dive at CBS to see what they're talking about. From what I've seen, the Ravens look pretty good in training camp right now. Derrick Henry is doing well. We've had some injuries. I know Nate Wiggins is out, but nothing major, thankfully. Um, so we're going through the woes of training camp. Not as bad as it used to be. If you're a Ravens fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So Lamar looks like he's happy. I'm very happy for him. I know Zay had his little injury that happened earlier a few weeks ago, so I know he's happy that his contract is up, that he's happy, he's healthy. So basically, we are here to just let's just see what people are saying out here. And without further ado, here we go.
Continues our stop today in Baltimore. It was a roller coaster of a season. They finished 8-9. A field goal ending their season, a missed field goal, I should say, ending their season. And now the team is looking to get back on track. No one better to talk Baltimore football than, can I say the king of Baltimore, Evan Washburn, joining us. Although I can't say the king of Baltimore because you've been everywhere this summer. You are our training camp guru out there talking to all the teams. But today our focus is on Baltimore. And I want to start kind of broad here and just talk about this new era of football. I feel like this is the first training camp you've covered here that's
Won't lie, it does feel like it's a really different season. I don't know if it's just me or I don't know, but like I don't think this is just hype though. I think there really is a change in Baltimore right now that's brewing. Like I don't like that we're getting talked about too much, but I understand because it just looks like there's a really good energy now with Jesse Minter, what he brought into the team right now. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm happy to see Lamar smiling. Let's be honest, when he's on that podium a lot of times, we don't believe that he's genuinely happy, with everything that's been going on. I believe that he plays the professional route and he's a man, he's a man's man. He goes out there, he does what he had to do, but we've had our issues in the playoffs. And I'm sure that look, Johnny Harbaugh, he did well with us in 2012, but Lamar kind of saved him on the back end of his career because after that Super Bowl run with a whole different defense, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, everything else, we haven't done much since. So this is a new energy. I'm excited. So let's go.
not been led by John Harbaugh. What feels different out there at Baltimore training camp?
Well, I prefer Prince of Baltimore.
Okay.
I don't want that responsibility of being king, so we'll keep that as the title. Look, it's
Respect.
the same building. It's a lot of the same key players, but you're right. It is a completely different energy in and around this organization, and that happens when you make a shift. 18 years with John Harbaugh, and now
18 years. You can't really act like 18 years is not like a long time. That's a very long time. Damn near 20 years. What are we talking about? We don't know anything about changing coaches. That just happened here in Baltimore. It just doesn't.
Now Jesse Minter takes over, and the early returns have been great. He provides such great energy, level of detail in terms of the structure and schedule of how they want to approach this training camp. Obviously, he has a huge impact on the defensive side of the ball. He's brought in a coaching staff that resembles his approach in terms of detail and accountability.
I agree that definitely him having a defensive mind does help. I like Anthony Weaver. He's a good addition. I remember he was a Baltimore Raven player at one point. I think he was a part of our championship year. I'm not too sure, but yeah, he definitely was when he was under Brian Billick. I remember those years. So yeah, man, like I like that they keep it home. It's more home than I thought. Yeah, Jesse left to San Diego for a little bit, but he's been a Baltimore Raven before. Anthony Weaver, like I said already. So I do like that Steve Bisciotti is keeping it home base. You know what I'm saying? It helps.
And look, the proof will be in the returns early in the year, but he's a guy that's got familiarity with how this community, this fan base, and most importantly, this organization operates. He came up in this building as a coach, so it seems to be a home run, but as I mentioned, it'll be judged by wins and losses come.
And that's why I like the fact that we need to be happy with the change, but we have a goal, man. Super Bowl for us. Forget the BS. Let's keep it above. We need to go to Super Bowl. All this hype, these hype videos, and I can care less about this. I don't care about none of that. I won a championship. I'm selfish. I'm greedy. I am a little bit spoiled. Absolutely.
September 13th and heading into this season.
Certainly the wins and losses are the focus here, but I feel like he has been very loud about supporting his quarterback, Lamar Jackson, and there is always so many questions about Lamar. Is he truly the MVP? All of the narratives that we give him in the media really unfairly here. In terms of the play.
Even I have to, I have to show credit where credit's due. I'm not really into CBS like that, but for her to say it, and this is her realm, this is her world, so you don't really out people in your world. As far as the media, you're a part of the media, right? Your job is to make sure there's credit every time you speak. There is some credit to your statements. So even if she's sitting here saying unjustifiably the media has been a little bit, like, I guess you could say, unfair, biased against Lamar, that says a lot. That's how I know things are changing out here.
Playoffs, though, that's kind of where that narrative is built. He can't seem to get a deep playoff run. Would you say pressure is
deep playoff run? We've been in the AFC Championship.
Mounting for Lamar to get that deep playoff run in 2026?
Well, we just sat down with them, and I didn't use the word pressure, Haley. I used the word urgency. And yes, it is there, but it's not from the outside. Yeah, I'm sure he feels it or hears it, but his internal drive.
What's that boy doing? He just like
is on hyperspeed. It's been from the day he was drafted, and he was up on that stage and talking about what he's bringing to Baltimore, and he said he's bringing a Super Bowl to Baltimore. You can count on it, and I think he still lives by that mentality. And yes, it's been disappointing. It's been frustrating. It's been marred with injuries and poor performances.
And it's usually like a last minute mistake. It's either a drop pass or some type of weird fumble that happens at the worst time, or a penalty. Like, it's anything. Like, I remember the playoff run we had with the Bills, and we lost like we lost two fumbles, and you can look at the replay and see it was clearly because there's freaking snow all over the ball. It's like just things like that. What do you? Oh, but we didn't play well. Yeah, you know why? Our defense also didn't do anything either. Couldn't turn the ball worth a lick in the playoffs. So if you're not causing mistakes and you're creating mistakes via either you're doing it self-inflicting wise or elements, you're not going to do a lot of success in the playoffs. And so I think we lack discipline, because some of those penalties that we did have did cost us some football games, especially in late games with the Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. So I admit I'm happy that Jesse Minter has a little more emphasis on being disciplined when you need to be. And it's all the time you need to be, but when especially later games, when it's down to the wire, one timeout you have or something, we need to be able to game plan better, to manage better games, to not put it all on Lamar all the time. It does get tiring, and it is a lot of pressure. Thank God we're doing defense first this year.
Around him, I always think that's important. Proper context. The quarterback position takes on so much of those playoff results, and sometimes it's not having anything to do with their performance. But I think entering year 9, and I still think Lamar's playing at an MVP caliber pace and could so for the next 4 to 6 years. He knows that it's about getting it done as soon as possible because, as he mentioned in our interview, he's not just thinking of one. He's thinking of trying to get another one after that. And that just speaks to his level of intensity and desire when it comes to having real playoff success, because you're right. It's the only thing he doesn't have on his resume right now. The guy's got 2 MVPs, should have a third, and he's done everything statistically, owns every record, at least in and around this building. Now he just needs to punch through and make it to a Super Bowl.
I go back to that game.
There you have it. It's already done. He's a Hall of Famer. You get a chip, you can be his BS if you want for the rest of your life. I won't have a problem with you. I'll be like, hey, my dog did what he got to do. Got us that one ring, bada bing, bada boom. I'm done. Have a good career, Lamar.
Where they lost against the Steelers that knocked them out of the postseason last year, a chance in the postseason, and he was so emotional about it and put it all on his shoulders. And so I have to imagine he's still carrying a little bit of that with him. I'm excited to see your interview with Lamar on HQ later today. I think he will be excited as well, knowing that Zay Flowers is sticking around a little bit longer, got that 4-year extension, $140 million after career highs in
Shout out to my guy Zay.
receptions and 5 touchdowns last year. What are the expectations for Zay Flowers?
Ooh, sorry about that, you guys. I'm a little under the weather right now, oddly. But okay, look at our receiving room right now. I give it a B plus. I mean, we still haven't given the opportunity to Devontae Walker. Rashad Bateman, jury's still out on you. Zay Flowers, we already know what he has, what he's on, what time he's on. Surratt, rookie. Okay. LaJohntay Wester. Okay, when are you going to get an opportunity outside punt return, my guy? There's no Keaton Mitchell anymore. You should be able to get more playing time somewhere, right? So I like our receivers overall. It's not the fastest of weapons, but they're tall, they're lengthy, they can definitely make uh impactful plays as far as down the field. They can make contested catches, so I'm okay with that. We have a little bit of everything, a little bit of speed, a little bit of size, and then we have some good tight ends as well. So I'm good with it at the moment. So
here, how can he continue to build on that, Eben?
Pays to be a pass catcher right now, and I think the expectations, Haley, are for him to be a true wide receiver 1. And he's shown flashes of that, and I think he's capable of being that for this offense under Declan Doyle, who's bringing a much different scheme than they had with Todd Monken the last few seasons. And they're going to ask a lot of Zay Flowers, but I also think you're going to see a lot of the 2 tight end sets. They've got a rookie in Jacoby Lane who's been making plays, the 3rd rounder out of USC, and Rashad Bateman is expected
balling out right now. I heard he's doing really well.
To have a kind of breakout year. He's kind of always hovered around 500 to 700 yards receiving. They believe in this building that they could have 2,000-yard receivers in Bateman and Zay Flowers. But yes, it starts with Zay. That's why he commanded that money. And some people kind of were shocked. I mean, sticker shock, myself included, when I saw that. But as we know in contract negotiations, you are what you're worth and what somebody's willing to pay you. And I think his value to this team specifically was probably higher than in any other in the league, and
he's more valuable than all the other guys. DK, okay. CeeDee Lamb, okay. Maybe I give you CeeDee Lamb. He's pretty big with Dallas, but Justin Jefferson, all right, cool. Oh, he's one of the best receivers in the league. I gotta be honest. He's not gonna do much for you after like maybe in 1 or 2 years because they just can't find a quarterback. So I'm not worried about him. Drake London, yeah, I. Jamar Chase, he a stud. I ain't gonna lie, he good. And then Jackson, yeah, he's pretty good with the Seahawks. So other than like Jamar and Jackson, everybody else can kick rocks. Honestly, I could care less about all those other guys. Big time talent, but
kudos to him for capitalizing on it.
Yeah, you see there just under 30, or he's at $35 million, just under Drake London there at $35.3 million. There's a lot of money going around for these skill position players. I want to talk Trey Hendrickson because he was like the belle of the ball last offseason as we were waiting to see where he was going to land. It ended up being in Baltimore here, and we know that the defense was really a big problem in Baltimore last year. How are you seeing him help solve that problem?
Well, look, it wasn't to the standard, and as much as Lamar Jackson over the last, let's call it 8-9 seasons, has been the face of this organization. It's still Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed. It's still a defensive team, a defensive building, and they just didn't meet it. And they have all pros at pretty much all three levels, but the pass rush was just not what it needed to be. I mean,
pass rush was a joke. Whatever that was we were rolling with for like last 10 years, whatever we could describe that as, that's not a pass rush. It's something else. It was no pass rush. It was not a pass rush.
I mean, the leading sack guy had 5 sacks in Travis Jones. I mean, that's not going to get it done. So they invested a lot of equity in getting Trey Hendrickson here from Cincinnati, and I think the hope is that he can be a premier pass rusher, much like what they're expecting from Zay is to be a wide receiver 1.
If that man can stay healthy, if this man can stay healthy, even in the later rounds of the season and gets us into the playoffs, Trent Anderson, Mike Green, problems, a lot of problems. That's all I'm gonna say. And a healthy Derrick Henry and a healthy Lamar, and these receivers that can't wait to show out in the playoffs. I'd be one of those guys if I was a receiver in Baltimore. Get me to the playoffs. Get me to the playoffs now. I could care less about this season. I want Mahomes. I want his butt. Look right here. I want his butt. I wish I could say the hard ASS, but I can't because I'm trying to be good. If I was a receiver in Baltimore, I'd be gunning for the Bengals. All of them. Everybody. Dang, especially if I'm Zay Flowers and I got my money. I got no reason to care. You heard?
And Trey, despite plenty of doubters, both in and around the teams he's even played for in Cincinnati, this is a guy who just is able to fill the stat sheet when it comes to getting after the quarterback. And they've taken care of him in this camp. He's on the older side, if you will, so it's not like they're having him out there every day going. They want him primed and ready for week 1 to be able to terrorize quarterbacks in the AFC North.
Yeah, and it's weird to see him still in the division, but just in a different team, in a different uniform there. We'll see how it makes a difference. Evan, before I let you go, we kind of started the conversation about how the new era under Jesse Minter feels. Now I kind of want to put that into action here. What does a bounce-back season look like for this team?
When we're in the Super Bowl. He doesn't have to answer that. I answer it. When we're in the Super Bowl.
I mean, at least making the playoffs. I think
hell no. Super Bowl.
winning the division is probably the goal. It always starts there. Getting to the playoffs and
I don't care how we get into the playoffs. Super Bowl.
trying to win a playoff game, whether that means getting the divisional or punching their way back to the AFC Championship game. I think, look, usually when you bring in a new coaching staff, there's a bit of a grace period. 2 things. One, that seems to have gone out the window with the instant success we've seen from guys like Mike Vrabel, even Ben Johnson last year. But then you also factor in, this is not a rebuilding team. This is a roster that is primed and ready in terms of a talent perspective to be a playoff team and make a Super Bowl run. So that's a lot of pressure, to use a word we had earlier, when it comes to what Jesse Minter and his group has to do in leading this group. And I think that is the expectation when it comes to the fan base and everybody in and around this team is, hey, let's get back to being near the top of the AFC and do what we did for a number of years prior to last year's downturn.
Yeah, basically just bring it back. Go back to the basics. That's it. What got us to the championship? It wasn't our powerful offenses. No, it was our defense. Yeah, our rotational D line. Size everywhere. It wasn't about how many points you could put up. Yeah, you could put up. We won a Super Bowl and didn't even score touchdowns for like the first 6 games. Talk to the 2000s Ravens that went to a Super Bowl. We don't need to drop 48 points a game. When the play needs to be made, we make the plays. Mahomes isn't out here throwing for 50 touchdowns and stuff. Mahomes out here idling to the damn playoffs. One leg half the time, literally speakingly, especially last year. And you're trying to figure out before you look at the stars, you're like, wait, we were just beating them 21, let's just say to 0. Now they're up 2 touchdowns and they got the ball back. How did it happen? They make the subtle plays. Those first downs that you have to convert on a timely manner. They're consistent. It doesn't matter the weather. They're in game every game, with the exception of the Super Bowl where I'm not gonna lie, they got their butt kicked. But they were ready to play every week, regardless of how many injuries they suffered, regardless of the climates, regardless of all that. They were still there. Did they get some help in the reps? You're damn right. But hey, to each his own, right? I'm just simply saying the point is they make the plays when it's necessary, and we make the plays to do just enough, but not enough. That's our problem, and then we f up at the worst time. So we have a timing issue.
We had Lige Douzable do a schedule prediction for us earlier in the show. He has this Ravens team going 12-5 and, of course, making the postseason. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But, Evan, we appreciate your time. Prince of Baltimore, Evan Washburn, joining us on his training camp tour. Man, Evan has been everywhere. Baltimore, just one of his many stops. And when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens, here is how the odds are looking for them. Plus 100 to win the division there, minus 300 to make the playoffs, and then kind of split there in terms of the rest of those numbers there. The season will begin before we know it in the NFL.
All right. There it is. Ooh, sorry about that, you guys. That's their page now. But, yeah, there it is. So this is my reaction. It is what it is at this point, man. We got to just go out and just make it happen. So, until then, appreciate you guys stopping by. Peace.